least these are the main Muslim regions in the world. Okay? Statistics differ, of course. I'm not going to throw any numbers to your head, really, because some people say Africa is 50-50, some others say less, some others say more, and so on and so on. Whatever, it's not important. It's really not about the quantity, it's about the quality. Now, it's not about having and boasting with having 2 and 3 billion people of being Christian or Muslim, right? And I think everybody will agree with that. It's about the quality. You know, I would like to have a good Muslim, somebody who understands the Islam. I would like to have a good Christian, somebody who understands the Christianity. Okay? Rather than having 10 billion Christians, right? Or 5 billion Muslims, and in the end, you know, we don't even know what Islam, how to spell Islam correctly. So it doesn't, that's not the point here. And they love, you know, the leaders, you know, church leaders, the Vatican, and on the other side, of course, there are enough Muslim leaders who love playing around with, we are 2 billion people, who cares? You know, did you count them? I haven't counted anybody, I don't know. So, go on, the next one. Now, Islam is not a race. We mentioned it before. Islam is not a race. It's not an Arab thing. It's not a black thing. It's not a Turkish thing. It's not an Indonesian thing. It's not a white thing. It is not a race. It's just simply something that you can choose for. Very important point here now. And I keep saying that to my Muslim brothers and sisters every time. Please, please, we are not black, white, yellow, green, and we are not born into it because, you know, our parents are from there, because then it would mean that I couldn't be Muslim, and it would mean that you don't have the choice. Whereas in this country we have more than 150,000 official Muslims, British Muslims who have accepted Islam. In every Western European country you will find a lot of reverts nowadays, a lot of people who have accepted Islam. So it is a choice. And that's something I keep telling my Muslim brothers and sisters, that's something to be proud of, because if you choose for it, then you understand what you chose for. But if you're just Muslim because of my father being from Pakistan, or my father being from Bangladesh, or my mother being from Turkey, you know what? My father is from Greece. That means that does not make me a Muslim, right? Now, no. As long as we don't understand what Islam actually means between ourselves, you know, how can we expect a non-Muslim to understand that? If we don't understand that even, how can we not expect a non-Muslim to understand that? So it's not a race, it's a choice. So it's not a racist thing if somebody has a problem with Islam, by the way, you know, because we're not a race. I have a problem if somebody says something against Islam, then it's a religious thing, then it's something that has to do with the Islam itself, okay? And not because I'm white or black or green, whatever I might be. In South America, I'm very white, okay? In Germany, I'm actually a Turk, okay? Here, I'm Pakistani, right? So, you know what I want to say? You know, it doesn't matter, right? Next one. Misconception number 9. What does it say? Muslims hate the Jews and the Christians. By the way, these misconceptions, top 10, I took them from the internet simply because they have done some studies. There's a specific study they did in 2010, if I'm right, 2010, 2011, with regards to what people actually believe in the world about the misconceptions. There are many more. I'm showing you 10. I actually sat down at the end and I found 50, okay? 50 and more that are more obvious than these ones, sometimes, I thought. But these are the most common ones. Now this one here, Muslims hate Jesus and the Christians. This is misconception number 9. Although we all know, I'm sure, and this is sometimes the problem that I have with these kind of activities, it's great what we're doing here. And I'm very happy to see non-Muslims also being, I assume at least, non-Muslims being in the audience. But, you know what, these are the wrong non-Muslims. I would like to get the EDL here sitting here, you know. I would like to get the BNP sitting here. I would like to have all these fanatics, idiots from Greece sitting here in front of me. And you know, I would love to have them here to finally clarify certain issues, because they need clarification. Most of you most probably not. Okay? But anyway, alhamdulillah, we try to work what we have. So yes, Muslims hate Jesus and the Christians. Now, we look again, I'm a historian, right? And I would always like to take it back to history, because it is extremely important. If we don't understand our history, we will not be able to understand our future, okay? Now, historically, again, like with the Jews, wherever there were Christians, okay, wherever the Muslims came, entered, for example, in Syria, for example, what is nowadays Syria, the Sham area as it's called in Arabic, Syria, Jordan, Lebanon, there were many Christians before. It belonged to the Byzantine Empire. Turkey, as we know Turkey nowadays, was part of the Byzantine Empire before it became Islamic. So there were many Christians living there before and still are. So now, if we look at that, a very simple thing. Is it really true that Muslims hate the Jew? First of all, do we hate Isa alayhi salam? Jesus for us is a prophet. When I say his name, Jesus, Isa in Arabic, alayhi salam, I give him peace. Alayhi salam. Peace upon him. I give him peace. Who of the Christians does that? And I had once an argument with one of the Christians standing outside and coming to convince me, giving me a Bible. I said, I don't need the Bible. I can read the Bible in the original language. So I would like to know, what exactly is your point here now? What are you trying to say? And he was saying, well, you guys don't respect Jesus because you say he was a prophet. So I say, Isa alayhi salam, peace be upon him, and that's the way I refer to Isa, to Jesus, whereas he didn't say anything. It's not important, I don't have to say that. But you say, I say. You see the difference? And then you're telling me that I don't respect Jesus, right? So there's a formula we use for Isa, for Jesus alayhi salam, peace be upon him, and for Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, may the peace and blessing be upon him. So on all these prophets. Now, so one thing. Second of all, there is a wonderful surah in the Quran, okay? And I have the translation of the Quran with me. And Surah Maryam, okay? Beautiful surah, the 19th surah of the Quran. It's called Surah Maryam, the mother of Jesus, the mother of Isa alayhi salam. And this entire surah is talking about Maryam and the way what she had to go through, actually, the pains that she had to endure in order to give birth to Jesus. And we all agree, Muslims and Christians alike, that she was a virgin, okay, when she gave birth to Isa alayhi salam. Whereas the Jews have a problem with that and make fun and mock us, actually, both. You know that? The Jews mock us both. They say, really, you do believe that? So, and I would like to read out something about Surah Maryam, simply because it's in English, so it doesn't have the same influence on people than in Arabic. In Arabic, even if you don't understand it, it sounds different. But I know somebody in Egypt, for example, there was a lady, a Christian lady. She used to, that time when we had cassette recorders in our cars, she used to have a cassette with her. And on the cassette, it would play Surah Maryam on A and B side, both of them. Surah Maryam in Arabic. She was not a Muslim, she was a Christian, an Arab Christian. And she would understand this surah in Arabic. And she would put it every time, she would have it standard on in her car. And she would listen to it. And you ask her, like, you love this surah. I love this surah, she said. I love this part of the Quran. But haven't you understood that, look, if you look further, then have you opened your heart for Islam? So she loved this surah. And she was playing it as a Christian lady. Now, I'm going to read some passages out for you. And it says, and mentioned in the book, the Quran, Maryam, when she withdrew in seclusion from her family to a place facing east, she placed a screen to screen herself from them. Then we sent to her our Ruh, angel Jibreel alayhi salam, and he appeared before her in the form of a man in all respects. She said, verily, I seek refuge with the most gracious Allah from you, if you do fear Allah. The angel said, I'm only a messenger from your Lord to announce to you the gift of a righteous son. She said, how can I have a son when no man has touched me, nor am I unchaste? He said, so it will be, your Lord said, that is easy for me, Allah, and we wish to appoint him as a sign to mankind and a mercy from us, and it is a matter already decreed by Allah. So she conceived him, and she withdrew with him to a far place, and the pains of childbirth drove her to the trunk of a date palm. She said, would that I had died before this and had been forgotten and out of sight. Then the baby Isa, Jesus alayhi salam, cried unto her from below her, saying, grieve not, your Lord has provided a water stream under you. And shake the trunk of date palm towards you, it will let fall fresh ripe dates upon you. So eat and drink and be glad. And if you see any human being, say, verily, I have vowed a fast unto the most gracious Allah, so I shall not speak to any human being this day. And it goes on and goes on, describing the pains that Maryam alayhi salam had to go through simply because she gave birth to whom? To Prophet Isa, Jesus alayhi salam. This is unbelievable, isn't it? That actually, this is something, again, my parents